Welcome to Mountain Women Radio with your host, Tammy Trayer. Tammy is an author, writer, and integrative health practitioner dedicated to helping her listeners enjoy life and family. Listen as she shares her extensive knowledge on homesteading, off-grid living, wilderness survival, and living a faithful, simple life. Find a comfortable seat, grab your favorite beverage, and prepare to be encouraged.
Hey, my friends. Welcome to Mountain Woman Radio. I am your host, Tammy Trayer, and today is episode number 272, and we are going to talk about how to thrive when the world is uncertain. And I am accompanied by my cohort, my son, Austin.
Mm-hmm.
We are trying something new. We've been getting a lot of questions from the audience, from you guys, from our community. So I thought it would be fun to have him join me, read the questions. We can kind of discuss these things. And especially with the Mountain Women Radio, we are able to really hone in on this because he's been living the life with us. He's living now here on the homestead in his own tiny home. You know, he has a lot of insight on the lifestyle and that as well. So I think we'll have a really good time. We just recorded the Faith-Led Healing podcast. I encourage you to go over and check out this week's as well. We fielded the same question, but we took a different angle as far as health and wellness. We're going to look at this and have more of a preparedness aspect of things, but I figured some of you would like the answer to this question as well. So Austin, would you like to do the honors and read the question that Jason posed on our Faith-Led Healing podcast last night?
Why leave if you have a great homestead already? None of us know what's ahead. Good luck day to day. The world is changing everywhere.
Yeah. So I love this question. Sorry, I just hit my mic, so I know you guys just got noise. I talk with my hands. I like this question, and I like when you guys ask these kind of questions because this is a layered question, and I love sharing my aspect and my view on the world. And Austin here, he and I have a very close relationship. We talk about everything, and he's had his own, I'm going to say, healing journey as well.
Mm-hmm.
And through my perspective, it enabled him to change his perspective, which in turn brought you healing.
Mm-hmm.
So we think a lot alike. You'll find out. So I love this question, and I know many of you are probably wondering the same thing. Why would we sell this beautiful place when, why would we sell it when we have a beautiful home? Especially with the world being the way it is, we don't know what tomorrow's going to bring, right? Well, in my first thing is all the more reason to embrace such a dream. A lot of people look at it as if, okay, we have no idea what tomorrow's going to bring. World's in a really crazy place, getting crazier every day. And it's true. Anything could happen, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I want to be able to live life to the fullest, and I don't want anything to hold us back. When we embarked on our off-grid journey here in 2010, Austin was 13.
I was definitely
No, I was going to say 2013. He was 13. No, he wasn't 2. He was 13. But we weren't sure how he was going to handle the jump into off-grid living, into the wilderness. What was this all going to be like for him? So we embarked on Idaho. Had we known otherwise, we would have been in Alaska already in 2010. That was our dream. And, the mountain man and I aren't getting any younger, nor is this guy here. So we don't want to wait any longer. And we've been holding off because the world is in an unusual place. The market wasn't good for a while. Now the market's good. There's a lot of fluctuation all the time. But the big question always came back to us. Do we want to get to the end of our lives and be like, I wish we would have? And we don't. I don't want to ever say that. And as I said in the Faith-Led Healing podcast today, he witnessed it. I almost didn't have tomorrow. And that changes things. And I believe too that I think it's fair to say that has changed things for you too.
Mm-hmm. A lot.
Share a little bit on that. I never really considered that, but I imagine that because of me almost losing my life, you experienced that. That was a scary time.
Mm-hmm.
But how did that affect your thinking on life?
It kind of hurt. I didn't know if you were coming back or not.
Yeah. And how did that make you view your day to day? Did it change that?
A
Like not
little.
share.
Kind of made my existence feel pointless.
When I was sick.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. That's deep. Don't you go making me cry.
Now I want to make you cry.
It would be happy. It would be like thought-provoked tears.
Yeah.
But okay, so then I come home, I'm healthy, and I'm back. Because one of the things Austin shared with me is that, he was concerned because he saw my health declining. He thought maybe I had cancer. And for those of you that are new to my show, I almost lost my life in 2016 to breast implant illness. Very open about it because I don't want other people suffering behind me. And my mess has also become my message. That is why I'm an integrative health practitioner now and a certified breath worker, helping people to regain their health, helping them to understand their odd symptoms and find answers when the medical system says that they are healthy when they know that they are not. So, but back to the conversation, okay, I came home. So what has that done in your life? I never really gave that any thought because I know that we are so connected and so linked. There's a lot of things that have been spurring lately that I just didn't know were thoughts for him. So this is kind of interesting and totally off the cuff. So when I did return, how has that changed you in your perspective on life?
It made me happy that you were okay. And I felt like my life was worth something again.
Don't you do it? And as far as like embracing your dreams and looking at life in those lenses, I'm trying to
keep on balling.
And of course,
I guess I need to work harder.
Like I said, you see our dynamics. There's definitely dynamics here. They've seen me cry already. I don't keep it all together all the time on here either. But
when do you ever keep it together?
You're funny. So has my experience caused you to be a little bit more apt to live life differently, embrace your dreams, live life more?
A little more.
How would you describe that?
Just want to be able to do what I want to do and not have to worry about the world's way of thinking.
It's a good way to think. And you know what? You just led me right into the Bible verse I wanted to share. So this is pretty cool. And this is totally off the cuff. This is how he and I roll. We can sit and talk for hours. It's so cool. And this is what happens. So today's Bible verse that came to me for today's episode was Psalms 119:37, which says, "Turn away my eyes from looking at worthless things and revive me in your way." And with him saying what he just said, that he didn't want the world dictating or changing his thinking on how he wants to live life. And what he's seen us do in embracing this journey from the beginning was to give you the life that we had growing up that wasn't really the same. Many of you see that. We're trying to give our kids a wholesome life. The world that they are involved in today is not a wholesome life. Yeah, thank you. And see, I'm telling you. And
breathe there, breathe.
Choking. Okay, but so we wanted to give him that life, but we also didn't want the world dictating, for us what we could and couldn't do. We were in a place where it just felt like it was getting tighter and tighter on what we were able to do. And to be completely honest, we couldn't go off grid where we were living because of the rules and the laws and the regulations. You had to jump hoops, and you could only, there's just so much bull. And coming here enabled us to be able to just embrace life by our terms, live by our terms, homeschool him without all the regulations and overstep and overreach and that. So, he got to live that wholesome life. And so often we allow the world to dictate what we are going to do. So, Jason, what was the last thing that Jason said in his question? I think it went off your phone, so find that, and then we'll chime.
It's still on.
There it is.
It was just slipped up.
Yeah.
Okay.
That last sentence.
The world is changing everywhere.
Right. And I've shared many times where, so often we wait for everything to be perfect, or we want that special homestead. We can't do what we're doing where we're at because we have to be somewhere else. Well, let me just say to you guys, that's a bunch of bullpucky. Right now, we've been waiting for this to sell, but we had the intention all along of adding an addition to the back of the house so that our bathroom was in the home and that we had an extra additional storage, because living off grid and the way we do homesteading, you've got your canning things, you've got all kinds of stuff that needs to have a warmer environment. Our storage containers are not warm in the winter. Things freeze. So we needed a place to bring our canned goods so that they would stay at a good temperature and wouldn't freeze. Our batteries need a place to be warm. And again, the containers aren't that. We have extra water that we like to store, and we can't do that in the containers. They will freeze. So it's like you need things. And in a tiny home, we live in 12 feet by 16 feet. You can bring it in, and we do, and it's crammed. And I don't do well with clutter. I don't like clutter, and if we don't have to. So we added the addition. We didn't wait. It's, we're selling the place, but why not live comfortably? So we're still embracing our dreams here, making this a better place for somebody else, and waiting for God to open the doors. And he is. We had another showing yesterday, and it was an amazing showing, really good people, and they are very interested. So in that example, we're always moving. We're always moving forward. You hear me talking about success in the Faith-Led Healing podcast and motivation. What's our motivation? And to keep going. And this sums it all up here, is that we are living that. We are doing that. And he is such a testament to, everything I share with you guys. He witnesses. He sees me living this life out. It's like I'm not just painting a pretty picture for you guys on a podcast and living some other way. This is real life. And this, he and I doing this as a cohort, I think is really awesome, because he can share that, but he can also share his perspective. He lives here. He's off grid too, but embrace our dreams. One, I don't want to live life and miss anything. I just don't want to. And I really am hanging on to Jesus's robe hem, and I am going where he's leading me. I don't gauge things on the world, and I'm grateful to hear him no longer gauging things on the world. And I want to encourage you guys, detach from all this nonsense. There's so much, you hear me say this all the time, there's so much in the world that we can't control. So why waste a minute, a second of your day focusing on any of that stuff? There's a lot of drama. There's a lot of political bull. There's a lot of oddities and weird stuff going on in our world today. But if we can't change it at the moment, and we can't play any role in repairing it right now, we have power, prayer, and living life. Because If you're allowing all that nonsense to stop you, you're allowing the world to control you. Is that what you want? I don't. Not this girl. So, I'm grateful to hear you say that. And I'm grateful to hear that that was what you gained from watching me. And I'm deeply sorry, how you hurt through my journey. It was a journey. It was a journey that impacted us all. I mean, your dad too was like really struggling with that because I share this all the time. Men are fixers, and when a man can't fix, I mean, he explained it. It hurts. It hurts bad when you have to watch your loved ones. And I didn't know to the depth, with him saying that it made him feel like he had no worth because I was losing my fight. And that saddens me. And I imagine maybe part of that was some of what your dad was feeling too. But I know for a fact that men, when they can't fix and help us ladies, the ones they care for, they have an inner turmoil and they get angry. And that anger may be misread and misunderstood. You may think that they're mad at you, but they're not mad at you. They're just mad at the world. They're just mad because they want you well. They want to be able to help you. So, and then you have other men that are saddened by it, depressed by it, unable to help. And it just pulls them into a bit of a hole of their own, So we all have different makeups. Us women, we wanna help. We're fixers, so we know what that feels like when we can't help. So, have respect for each other in those circumstances. That's one thing that I can say we did. We all have, the three of us have a very tight connection. We look out for each other. We really protect one another and help one another and have a very deep connection, almost too deep sometimes, because we just, like you saw, he finished my sentence before. So it's funny. And he and I, even more so, because, I raised him, and that's what makes it funny, is that he and I will like look at each other and be able to interchange a connection and a word and a sentence without even saying anything. And the mountain man's like, what just happened? Right?
Yeah.
Right. So anyway, I diverted, but
You're good at that.
I am good at that. But this is such a good question. And, I want to encourage you guys to live life out of faith, not fear. The world dictates fear. So people hold back and they don't embrace their dreams out of fear of things being perfect, that it can't happen now. Our God is bigger than all of that. Our God is bigger than all of that. Regardless what's happening in the world, if you have a dream and desire and Papa knows it and you're praying to him and you're asking for it and it's in his will, there is nothing stopping him from opening the doors regardless what the world is like. I promise you, embrace that thought. Embrace that there is that available to you and start living life. If you don't want to leave any stones unturned, then don't. Don't let the world make you afraid of embracing your dreams, even when things are chaotic and upside down. God's bigger than that chaos. That chaos is the enemy, right? So, and then what was the middle? Oh, we're not promised tomorrow. I almost lost tomorrow. So that makes me live in the moment even more. Does that make, I see you living more in your moments.
Yeah, that wasn't exactly what this said.
How does it say? None of us, go ahead.
None of us know what's ahead. Good luck day by day.
Yeah, well, I ad-libbed and I, what do you call that? It's leaving me. You hear people saying it when they're quoting the Bible. I was paraphrasing. But it is true. We don't know what tomorrow's going to bring. We don't know what the future holds. All the more reason to make each day count, to make each day absolutely amazing, regardless what's going on. You wake up on the wrong side of the bed, it's a choice to make the rest of the day a bad day, At that point, if that ever happens to me, I wake up and I'm like, you know what? No, you ain't ruining the rest of my day. You got right now, and that's it. See ya. I don't, and he'll attest to that. It is very rare that I am in a bad mood.
It is pretty rare.
And it takes a lot to get me to my knees, like a lot to make me skip a step, unless it's a stick in the middle of the clear cut like yesterday. I was taking a lot of missteps yesterday. He and I went for a good stroll. But
a lot.
Yeah, it's tricky walking through that stuff. I believe.
And I made it look easy.
Yeah, sure you did. You're funny.
I wasn't tripping. You were the only one tripping.
We take turns. It'll probably be your day today. But anyway, I hope this was enjoyable for you guys. We would love your feedback on what your thoughts are of us co-hosting this together. And if you're enjoying the camaraderie or if it's too much for y'all, we would love to know. But this is real life. And that's what Mountain Women Radio is real life. This is our life. And I believe that you are following us for a reason. Sometimes I wonder why. We're just normal people living life. But
especially when she's crazy.
Right. It's every day, all the time, 24/7. Your dad was here, he'd be like, yeah. So
you wouldn't know what to think about this conversation.
No, probably not. But anyway, life is uncertain. We don't have to make our days uncertain. We are totally and completely in control of our thinking, our actions, and where we're going in life. So I want to just remind you today to choose to embrace what you want to do in life and do it. And don't worry about other people. Don't worry about the world. Don't worry about everything being perfect. Don't worry about having the right amount of money or everything lining up. Just pray and give Papa the opportunity to open the doors for you and live out of a place of faith, not fear. And I want to encourage you guys to join us this week on Faith-Led Healing. There's going to be a good message on both podcasts each week, different. But I want to encourage you to join us next week because this guy here is going to share his testimony and his life's walk and his experience with you guys. And I think that you will find it really fascinating. He's a good guy. He's overcome some pretty hefty stuff. And he's an untapped resource, hence why he's sitting right here with me now. So anyway, we appreciate you joining us today. If you're not part of our community, we both, I think I'm speaking for us both, we would enjoy getting to meet you in our community. So join us, faithledliving.com. It's both faithledliving.com/community or faithledhealing.com/community. It'll take you to the same place. So if you want to see the show notes for this week's episode, you can go to mountainwomanradio.com/podcast-272 and email us at podcast@mountainwomanradio.com with your questions. And we would love your feedback. And here's another one for you. If you haven't reviewed our podcast ever, whether you're watching on iTunes, Spotify, wherever you're watching from, I would love it if you would go and give us a review so that we can be reaching more people, because people are reading the reviews and are joining in because of the things you folks have to say. So I would appreciate it if you would take that time. But thank you for listening to us today. We really appreciate it. Have an awesome rest of your day and week, and I look forward to visiting again next week. God bless.
God bless.
Thank you for joining us today on Mountain Women Radio, where you can learn something new every week. We hope you enjoyed the show, and we encourage you to join us on faithledliving.com and faithledlearning.com. Be sure to connect with us on iTunes and leave a review. This will help us reach even more people. Until next time, keep learning, laughing, and living.